Welcome to the After Work Podcast with your host, Tristan. Let's get right into this. This is a podcast where we talk about shit that just happens during work, maybe during the day, after work. It's pretty simple. I get to do what I want. This is the wind down after what usually tends to be a very busy day. And if it's not a busy day, then I'll recount stories from the day before because crazy shit is happening all the time. And we can't keep up with this shit anymore. So you know what? It's time to archive it and put it out there and just see what happens. So, concept of this show. Hear me out, right? We got 5 questions that we will be answering consistently every single week, once a week. And then I'll be topping it off with a final conversation in a segment that eventually, potentially, will have some guests. But for now, will be just me. Hence, the title I came up with. A Narcissistic Diner Conversation. It can either be a conversation about me with somebody else, but in the meantime, it'll be a conversation about me, with me. And then there's a third part to that. But I can't think of it right now. Why am I thinking there's 3 parts? Oh, me, myself, and I. That's what it is. Anyways, let's get into question number 1, which was, how was your day? My day was slow. I work at a butcher shop. The thing with working in customer service, especially in a butcher shop, is customers come in waves, so it makes your day go very slowly at times. Except for when crazy shit happens. I think the stupidity of waves is that you have it at both times that are convenient for you and times that are extremely inconvenient for you. Time that it was extremely inconvenient for me today was at 5:55 p.m. when somebody walks into the door. And it is, by the way, I close at 6 p.m. So they ask for a coffee and then they ask for a sandwich, which is what I make at this store. So I understand why they're asking for it. But here's the deal. I just finished cleaning all the machines. So I'm not making a fucking sandwich when I have 5 minutes left until I leave the door from an 8-hour shift that I have been spending the whole time there. Again, slow pace, and I'm the only one who was there that I can really talk to. I'm going to leave at 6 o'clock. This is the deal, right? But if you're going to proceed to give me a speech at 5:55, which starts with, why do you guys close so early? You're not going to make me too happy. In fact, I don't think that's necessarily a me trait. I think that's just a human trait. I think anybody who works customer service, if they have 5 minutes left on their shift and you start a conversation with them saying, why do you guys close so early? I don't think you're asking for any type of conversation. I think you're asking for an extremely fucking sarcastic remark or response. And quite honestly, it's warranted, because who do you think you are to come into a place and assume everything that they're doing? Anyways, don't be stupid. That's kind of what I'm getting to. So my day was okay. Could have been better, could have been worse. So we're going to wake up tomorrow. It's going to be a new day. And hell yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Our second question, which is more of a segment than a question, and this segment is Throwback. In this segment, we're going to take things that we were super into the past, and we're going to compare them to what we think about them now and see if they either kept up with the standard we used to have for them, or if they completely dropped off and they're absolutely trash. Today's topic is going to be Futurama. I loved Futurama as a kid, still do. I think it's an amazing show. I fall asleep to it a lot of nights. If it's not, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I'm falling asleep to Futurama. I think the comedy is hilarious. I think it's both stupid and witty. It's all a good mixture of everything you want. I watched a shit ton of TV as a kid. I'm trying to front like I don't watch a shit ton of TV now. I watch a shit ton of TV, and I would probably legitimately, like, being completely honest, not even joking, I don't know how many reruns or how many times I've watched it. I would have to guess I'm probably rewatching it for like my 15th, anywhere between my 15th and 20th time as I'd be aiming. So let's say right in the middle, 17th time. And I was rewatching it mainly when I was a teenager, so it was like season 1 to, how many seasons are there now? It would be like, I want to say season 8. Or maybe like season 6. I binge watched a lot of different types of shows. So some of them being like The Simpsons, which has an incredible amount of seasons. I don't know how many fucking seasons that show has. Unbelievable. Seasons, Futurama. Okay, there's 11 seasons. So yeah, I think 8 was reasonable. No. 7. That's what it is. Yeah. Because season 8 came out in like 2023. Okay. Does that make sense? Is that what I'm seeing right? Is Wikipedia like... Anyways, what Futurama always had, kind of like Family Guy, that I always fucked with, were the movies. They did a lot of cool shit. If you're looking for some good animation, I would definitely highly recommend checking out Futurama. Except, compared to it now, there's a new season that came out, and the jokes are relevant, which is kind of weird, because it took a stop and then it came back on. So it's cool that the jokes are relevant. The writers are clearly different, because the jokes are, in my opinion, don't keep up. I will say I only made it to episode 2. It did not make it past my interest meter. I kind of switched back to It's Always Sunny. I went back to earlier seasons, is what I did actually. Now I kind of stick in the season 3 to season 5 range on Disney Plus. I think those are some of the golden times. Also, like I said, the movies. The movies are fantastic. So unfortunately, I'd have to say Futurama, I give it a solid 6 out of 10 kept up, because when it was in its prime, it was definitely fucking amazing. But did it keep up in the newer seasons that came out? I unfortunately would have to go with no. Okay, third question. This question is going to be Skater of the Week. This segment is meant to talk about skating and everything about it. Anything that comes up about it. We fucking love skating in these parks. And we liked the culture. We liked everything about it. So I'm going to appoint a Skater of the Week every week, just so I can remember and keep up with a list of the like people that I'm fucking with as skaters in general. And maybe come back and see like why I like specific skaters for specific reasons, and see what they do in the future, because I think some of these people have some crazy fucking potential to do some crazier shit on top of what they've been doing. But I think with the content they already have out, they've already proven that they can do specific shit, so now it's cool to see the progress of the culture and see where it goes. So, Skater of the Week this week is Tristan Rennie. It's got the same name as me. Fantastic name. We fuck with Tristans. If you're looking for pool inspiration, park skating, this is your guy. He's got some crazy style. He skates for Blood Wizard. Blood Wizard is stacking a really cool team right now. I think they will be releasing some really cool content in the coming future. They have some youthful kids that are crazy rippers, and they also have experienced skaters like Tristan Rennie. And these are people who have been skating, like, you give them any type of bowl and pool and they'll figure it out. These are the guys that you watch, that you think of if you're not a skater and you think of skating. It's the guys that are like going in the back of abandoned houses and there's like a pool that has no water in it in like the middle of California, and then they'll got like a whole crew coming in with like brooms and they sweep it all out, and all of a sudden these guys are like doing crazy tricks on some pools that look like they should never have been skated ever. So definitely people that'll shock your mind. There's a huge street skating scene right now in skating, which I absolutely love. These guys are killing it out in the streets. But definitely shout out to my park skaters too, because street skaters do some savage stuff on a rail. Park skaters can get some height, some speed, and they do distance, which is kind of insane to see in the moment. So if you're looking for a good, like, he's got some 7-minute parts out there, he's got some 2-minute parts, but if he's also part of some crazy like movies, so I know Blood Wizard's got some crazy stuff out there. Just like search up Tristan Rennie and Blood Wizard on YouTube if you're looking for a good, like, let's say 20-minute escape from reality where you can just see some guys do some crazy stuff that looks like it's fake, but I guarantee to you that it's not. These guys take some slams and they got the scars to prove it, so don't fuck around with them. Anyways, on to the next segment. We got Song of the Week. I'm going to switch up the vibe a little bit. Instead of fucking around and hardcore skaters, we're going to go with Song of the Week is Session 32 by Summer Walker. If you're looking for just a nice poetic song to cry to, or just like sit there and ponder life and think about like every relationship you've ever had with anybody, really, listen to Session 32 by Summer Walker. It's a fantastic time. Also, just listen to her other shit. She's fantastic. R&B is a great music category. It's mainly what I've been listening to a lot recently. Although I've been hitting up eras because I work at a shop and I'm in charge of the music there. So I just throw in like era playlists. Like, I kind of match it to age categories. So somebody who's above the age of like 40 years old comes in, I'm probably going to hit up an 80s playlist. If they're 60 plus, you know I'm slapping on some 70s, bro. And I get some of these fuckers, man. They come in and they're like, damn, this music is older than you are. You listen to Steely Dan on a regular basis? And I'm like, hell yeah, I do. I think I have, like, the fact that I even have a Steely Dan song on my playlist is, I don't know why, but you know what? I think they just did a shit ton of cocaine and did music, so I can respect that. Not that I do cocaine. I'm more of a stoner myself. I just respect any type of creative process for music. It's really interesting. Anyways, listen to Session 32 by Summer Walker. Go cry. Do some, like, cool shit and just cry. It's great. That was the fourth question. Fifth question is going to be story time. So, in this segment, we're going to tell a story. These stories can either be stories that I experienced, or they can be stories that were told to me from different people that I really enjoyed, that I'll get their permission to say it. So, in today's specific segment, we will be going with my own personal experience. So, last week, I have 2 jobs, right? I work as a butcher. I manage customer service part of a butcher shop. So I work the front. And I'm also a fencing coach. On this particular day, it was a Friday, end of my week, and I was not coaching that night, which was nice because it was a good break from having coached a lot that week and working the butcher shop. So I close at 6 p.m. on Friday. I'm excited for the store to close, right? I'm counting down the hours from the 8 hours. I remember it being a very slow day, too. At 5:30, the central fire alarm for the entire building goes off. I think this fact is important because this is a fire alarm that I cannot turn off myself. I can't just, like, go up with a pillow and fan that motherfucker out, and all of a sudden it stops. I have to wait for the fire people to come and turn it off themselves because they have the special key that turns off this fucking fire alarm. So I call my owner. He goes, well, you should probably figure out why the alarm is going off if it's not you. And because we'll get fined. So I'll figure out what to do. You go around and start looking to see where the fire is coming from. So I'm on a mission at this point, right? I'm walking around the building, and I'm walking through alleyways going like, who the fuck is starting a fire? I didn't give a shit what people thought of me at that point, right? And so I go around, and I see that there's a door open. I don't know where the hell this door leads, but I see pink walls and racks of toilet paper, and I see a fucking door open with a smell coming from it. So you better bet yourself that I'm going to the store and banging on this motherfucker like, hey, what the fuck? Is there anybody in there right now? And so I start walking around looking like a mad crazy person. And there's tenants just kind of standing in the building, staring at me, looking all awkward, like, who the fuck is this dude? Never met these people, except for one dude, who turned out to be a very big help to me by the end of the situation. So we'll get to him later. This lady who was standing in there looking all confused starts staring right at me, and then points to the extremely legitimate massage parlor that's open till 2 a.m. every single day that happens to be neighboring my butcher. And I notice that the door that is open is the door that is associated to this extremely legitimate massage parlor. So we start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and I decide I don't give a fuck if this place is maybe not legitimate. So I start banging on the fucking door. I go in. I'm like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, this the 2-door system, right? So I go into the first door, go in. Now I'm like closed in, and there's a camera. So I start looking at the camera, and I'm like, dude, we need to figure this one out because there's a fucking fire alarm going off, and you got a shit ton of tenants around there. And so the door opens up, and it's a lady. She's like, hi, I'm sorry. And so we're like, I'm like, hey, look, is it you guys? And I will admit, I'm not going to go into what I said because I may have let the best get to me, but it was not, let's just say these people are not the happiest with me right now. Not that I was going to them before, and after they opened the door, I will definitely not be visiting them ever. That place is disgusting. It's just pink walls that I'm pretty sure the walls started off dark to begin with. Just saying. Old, grimy Egyptian carpets on the floor, and a shoe rack with all white and black flip-flops, which I'm curious to know, is that like a system of some kind? It kind of seems like a system. I don't know what the system can be. But anyways. Oh, also, other thing I found out, if you guys were curious, not that anyone was asking themselves, but just in case. If there are people in a happy endings massage parlor and there's a fire alarm going off, do they A, run out the building out of fear, B, look around in confusion and then get out of the building, C, wait for the cops to come? Well, the answer is D, continue to get the happy endings and then go out through the back exit, secret exit that the owners have made through the building and completely avoid the police to begin with. Because that's exactly what ended up happening, I think. I actually don't know what happened. That's my assumption. Just in case. Because after 4 fire trucks came to turn the fire alarm off, after lots of heavy debating with the landlord and the owner of the massage parlor, because I understood they were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So the landlord didn't want to call 911 to turn the fire alarm off because he didn't want to pay a $600 fine, which is what they would have gone for a false alarm going off. Completely understand. The massage parlor did not want to call 911 because turns out they're not so legitimate as we thought they were. Big shock, right? So, true rock on a hard place. Who calls 911? Well, after an hour and a half of what we were guessing was them swallowing the evidence downstairs, 911 was officially called. So 4 fire trucks pulled up and a police car after they determined that it was a false alarm and left. And the police car pulls up. It's 2 police women. They each look at each other. They pull out latex gloves and they nod and they put the latex gloves on. And my stepfather and I are just standing there. We look at each other. And he's like, well, clearly you guys know what you're heading into. So, not quite where I thought my Friday night was heading, but you know what? I was just happy to go home. Because, like I said, it was a long week to begin with. So, did I yell at the owner of a rub and tug? Absolutely. Did I also witness this same person get put in the back of a cop car at 6:30 p.m. when I was just trying to get home? Absolutely. Did it do anything to me? No, I was just trying to go home because it was a fucking long ass week. I just wanted rest. Anyways, moral of the story is if you run a rub and tug and you get arrested, it's okay because you probably have cash on hand. You're going to give it for your bail. You're going to use it to pay. And then with the rest of the cash in the safe, you're going to buy yourself another open sign that's even bigger and brighter. And you're going to come back and you're going to put that shit right in your front door, okay? Because with this bigger, brighter open sign, you will get more business and make the cash back that you just used to bail yourself out. And this, guys, is the secret to running a happy ending rub and tug operation. You heard it here on the Afterword podcast. We're going to lead that into our next segment, which will be the second half of our show, which is the Narcissistic Diner Conversation. This is a conversation with me, about me, and with myself, about myself right now. And this diner can be whatever you want. Use your imagination. Picture whatever you would like. In my mind, it'll be like a 1950s diner. I'm coming out of like an AA meeting at a church downtown. And there's a diner. It's like 2 a.m. It's like a 24-hour diner. I'm sipping on some bad coffee, but it's like, it's what you want. It's bad diner coffee, you know what I mean? And it's 1950s, so we're allowed to smoke, but I don't smoke cigarettes, but in this case, we'll make it jazz cigarettes. And we're just going to talk. We're going to talk. Talk about whatever we want. Things that we think other people can improve. Things that we think we can improve about ourselves. I'm going to let my mind ramble for a little bit. It's going to be like my therapy session, but instead it's at a 1950s diner. And we're just having a conversation. Like I said, the diner can be whatever you want. It can be a 2023 diner that looks like a 1950s diner, because those totally exist. They're fucking dope, just saying. Visit your local diners. It can be like an 80s disco diner where there's like neon lights everywhere and the booths are like red and blue, and you got like the waiter on rollerblades and they rollerblade to you. That'd be dope. Why? We need better service from restaurants, man. I'm just gonna say, I don't mind paying people tip, but if I'm gonna pay people tip, they have to give me a good fucking, like, I think they should give me a good show out of it. Because I work customer service now. I give people a good show and I don't even get a tip for it. I just do it because it's fun. Except for if you're a dick. If you're a dick, I'm going to give you the stupidity tax at the end of the day, and I will upcharge you for everything that you buy. Again, warranted. I'm sorry. Some actions are definitely warranted. That being one of them. Okay, before we go into the topic on hand for today, I would like to start off with explaining, try to get in the frame, what type of jazz cigarette I'm smoking today. This one is called Frosted Fruitcake. It's a hybrid indica dominant. I'm definitely more of an indica person. I like the mental highs. The body highs are too buzzing for me, man. Sativas they get you jittery and buzzing. Personally, I don't like that. This is super tasty, as the name implies, frosted fruit cake. If you're looking for a good weed to smoke for a long period of time throughout the night with your friends, I would highly recommend this one. Although, what I will say is I don't have a 24th chromosome, but I do have a 25th one that forgets things quite often. And the frosted fruit cake is definitely a heavy pusher of the 25th chromosome. I'm just saying. So perfect for after work when you have to deal with stupid clients who come in at 5:55 p.m. when you close at 6 p.m. Speaking of which, I would like to have a conversation about a list of questions that we can ask ourselves when we're dealing with customer service people. Because I don't think enough people do this. I have been yelled at too many times. And I mean, like, by people who meet me for the first time. Because I'm telling you now, if you saw the way I interacted with these people, their yelling would not be warranted whatsoever. But here, I do understand where some of it is coming from. I tend to get yelled at by clients who were previous clients of the old owners. So, the business that I'm managing right now was a Polish butcher for 29 years. And when they sold their business, they didn't tell any of their clients that they sold their business. So to paint a picture, imagine you're a Polish immigrant and you've been going to the same butcher shop for 29 years. And one day you come in and the 60-something-year-old Polish people that you have been speaking Polish to for 29 years are not only not there, but the person standing behind the counter is a 25-year-old Irish-looking kid smiling like a goofball. Hey guys, how you doing today? What can I do for you? I would understand how you're a little confused, and then immediately hit with disappointment. I would be just as disappointed, but I wouldn't be necessarily disappointed in the kid. I'd be disappointed in the people who used to own the business, which I've come to realize a very Eastern European way of showing your disappointment is to whoever happens to be standing directly in front of you. So what I will say is I've come to realize this. After lots of anger management, you eventually do realize that. But it's extremely fucking annoying. It doesn't stop the fact that it's extremely annoying to deal with because you're constantly hit with crazy remarks that you have to be like, it's not towards me. Let me give you an example. I have received you're unexperienced more than like I can count on my fingers. And by that I mean like there's inexperienced. I mean like a lady literally looking at me going like, ugh, inexperienced. All the way to, oh, don't worry. You're young. You have no experience. You'll eventually learn how to get to do this, but it would be nice if you can, like, rush and get there sooner. I don't even know where to begin with that statement, because the facetious part of me immediately wants to slap him in the face and be like, buddy, you have no fucking idea what people have done by the time that they are whatever age they are. I understand when you ask me what age I am and I say 25. To you, that is extremely young. But I have ran laps around this world and lived different kinds of lives by the time I'm 25. Like, I manage a butcher shop. How I got here, I have no idea. I really don't. You can ask me, like, we could trace it back, but I have no idea. It's extremely fun, but it is what it is. It's customer service. Pardon me with my coughing. I don't think anybody who works customer service will always have its limits. It'll have its good days, but you will always be hit with the bad days. Not that I think there's any profession out there where you're like, every single day is a good day. I think you need to be hit with your bad days, but I think there's professions out there that you can have a lot more good days than bad days. And customer service, it's always going to outweigh itself. You're getting hit. I think the problem with customer service is you're getting hit with people's bad days. So you're kind of you're trying to turn a negative into a positive, which is work. So if you're making it like fun and entertaining, you're still putting in work to make it fun and entertaining, which drains you. So you come home and you're like, I have no energy to do much. Whereas I think there's jobs that just allow you to have, like, I don't know. Yeah, bring different types of energies to it. I got completely sidetracked, and guys, that you just witnessed a full direct result of what the jazz cigarette does to you. Off topic. We have one question on our list so far. Okay. Let's add a second question. I think the first question you should ask yourself. I don't think we have one question. Okay, well, let's add a question to the list. The thing is, you think all the questions up here, but they don't come out. So, eventually, over time, that's what we'll be working on, is the timing and putting things out there. First question. You should look at someone and ask. First of all, if they look different, you should be like, hey, looks like something has changed. Is there new owners, maybe? Or something along those lines. Something not super enticing. That's nice and friendly, you know what I mean? Because that way, you can gauge their level of interest. So if they look at you and go, nah, man, like, my parents own it, probably not the person that you need to yell at. Because one, wasting your energy. Two, what the fuck are they gonna do? They have no invested interest in this. Or in whatever they're doing. So if you yell at them, they will stand there like a wall and take it. And it'll get nowhere. You'll be stuck at square one where you started. So, save your energy. Because if they go, yeah, I'm the new owner, then you can dig in. Oh, well, like, was something not working before? Would maybe be your next question. Because instead of saying, well, where the fuck did the soups go? Maybe the soups were not working from a business perspective. Maybe the soups that you are referencing have been sitting in a freezer for 6 months, which, by the way, haven't seen you in the 6 months that I've owned it. But neither here nor there, because I need to bend backwards for your ass, who comes once every fucking year. Yeah, soups do so well. So dumb. I don't have any pent up anger, guys. No, I'm kidding. These are, like I said, it's therapy session, putting it out there. Maybe people can relate to just the feelings and understand that I just have a crazy train of thought, because this is just a mixture of being high and ADHD at the same time. Know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm gonna wish you guys a good night. We're pretty much done with the jazz cigarette. I promise I will stay on topic more the more I do this. I'll also bring more structure to it. But I do like the organized chaos of just going off ranting. I think it's fun to see how I think and how people think. And I encourage doing it, guys. Pick up a camera. It doesn't need to look good. I have terrible equipment right now. Hopefully I can make something work with better equipment and get some in the future, which we're looking into now. But in the meantime, I will continue to do this. And I will wish you guys a great rest of the night. Until next time. I'll be back next week. I don't know when next week. It'll be once a week. Probably on a Tuesday or on a Thursday. I'll throw it out at my own convenience and when it's most fun. So, take care of yourselves. I think it's a time where people are burning out a lot right now. There's a lot going on for a lot of people. Super busy time. So, remember, it's okay to be selfish for certain things. If it's your mental health, be selfish about that. Take care of yourself. Don't question the fact that you need a break. Take the fucking break, okay?